my channel, and today we're going to watch the second part of One Direction fandom conspiracies from Hey Angel channel. This is Jasmine. I guess you all know her. I decided to dive deep into conspiracies, and this is the second part. In the first part there were Mr. X, triplet, I don't know, triplet. Somebody as a fan account post something to fandom on Twitter to make some noise. Yeah, to make some noise. Now we'll know what's in this part. So yeah, let's start it.
Hey, it's me. It's the next day. My camera died last night when I was in the middle of filming this conspiracy video, but I didn't want to have to film the rest of it on my phone, so I decided to just wait until today to do the last theory. It's all good. So like I said in the beginning of this video, I do want to go ahead and talk about the Rainbow Bondage Bear and Sugar Baby Bear, aka RBB and SBB phenomenon. Once again, just because it was such a huge thing that happened and it's so bizarre, and if I'm making a conspiracy video about One Direction, the Rainbow Bears absolutely need to be a part of it. Once again, I'm not going to be doing any kind of super in-depth Larry analysis. I just want to talk about the RBB SBB timeline to kind of explain everything that happened and why people think that Harry and Louis were the ones doing it. So if you don't want to hear about the Rainbow Bears, then you can just click off the video because that's going to be the last theory. But if you do want to hear about the Rainbow Bears, I would highly recommend because it's so bizarre and I love telling this story. So here we go with the entire RBB and SBB timeline. So basically this whole thing started back during the Where We Are tour when a fan went to Build-A-Bear and made this rainbow bear with nothing on it, just a regular plain and naked rainbow teddy bear, and threw it on the stage at one of their concerts. Now typically when One Direction fans throw things on stage, the boys will throw them back into the audience. They usually kick like bras back into the audience, or someone throws their phone up there, they give them back to them. Stuff like that. But this rainbow bear was kept on the stage for the rest of the show. Nobody ever picked it up, acknowledged it, or threw it back in the audience. It just stayed there, and then a few days later it showed back up at one of the shows, but this time decked out in like electrical tape. This electrical tape was wrapped around the bear in a way that suggests it was supposed to be bondage gear, which is where the bear got its name Rainbow Bondage Bear from. The bear was put on display at their shows, and Josh Devine, One Direction's drummer, even posted a picture with the bear. So a lot of people didn't really take it seriously in the beginning. It was something that was just fun, like a joke. It was just kind of there, had tape on it. Josh was posting pictures with it. At one of the Where We Are shows, still just a few days later, the bear was put on display with a Twitter account, like a sign posted in front of the bear encouraging people to follow it on Twitter. The Rainbow Bears did have two Twitter accounts, the first one and then the second one that came later. The first one that I'm talking about right now was at Bondage Bear 1D. The first few posts by the Rainbow Bear on its first Twitter account were very random, very playful things that nobody really blinked twice at, kind of like stupid things like the bear drinking too much and then throwing up in the toilet. But the thing about the bear was that it never posted a tweet that was just words. Every single time this bear account posted, it had a picture of the bear attached to it. Everything was really fun and playful until the bear account started posting things about Judy Garland multiple times, which made people a little bit confused. It'll make sense later once you get into the trend of the bear, but in the beginning a lot of people were confused why it kept talking about Judy Garland. And then shortly after it kept talking about Judy Garland, the account randomly got suspended and wasn't heard from for a while. So in the beginning, the Rainbow Bear was a very short-lived phenomenon. Excuse me for using the word phenomenon so much in this video, I know, it's annoying. But in the beginning, the Rainbow Bear was very short-lived. Like, it was kind of thrown on stage, okay, someone put tape on it, okay. It had a Twitter account where it was posting a bunch of dumb pictures, and then randomly got suspended, and people kind of forgot about it. It really just wasn't much in the beginning. But then the Rainbow Bear made a reappearance the following year on One Direction's On the Road Again tour in 2015. It randomly came back without anyone really saying anything about it. It was just put on display again, but this time, instead of just wearing like the tape, it was actually wearing clothes. Like someone was dressing it up with shoes and like clothes. Sometimes it would have like sunglasses or like necklaces, Hawaiian leis. Sometimes it would have things like clipped to its head, like hair clips on its head, like very random outfits instead of just the electrical tape. And the weird thing about the bear at the time was that nobody ever acknowledged it. Nobody. None of the boys ever drew any attention to it, said anything about it, tweeted about it, nothing, which is just very odd because the boys, as you know, at One Direction concerts are typically very involved with the crowd. They like to read fan signs, they like to call people out in the crowd and find out what they're doing. But they never drew any attention to this literal rainbow teddy bear dressed in these weird, crazy, elaborate outfits sitting up on display at their concert. Never said anything about it. Josh Devine is the only member of One Direction in this time who ever acknowledged the bear. Because he was posing for photos with it, people thought that he was the one dressing it up, and he literally said, like, no, I have nothing to do with that. Eventually, over time, the rainbow bear started being dressed up as Freddie Mercury. Very obviously Freddie Mercury, because it had, like, the stash. And then sometimes it would be seen wearing, like, iconic outfits that Freddie Mercury used to wear. So fans were like, oh, now the bear is Freddie Mercury. And that's when some people started to, like, actually pay attention to the fact that this was the second time the bear was referencing someone who was a gay icon in their time. First, it was Judy Garland, who was a gay icon in her time in the 50s, and then it was Freddie Mercury, who obviously is one of the most influential gay icons of all time. So then that's what drew a lot of people's attention to the bear. They were like, why does this bear keep referencing gay icons like that? Then randomly one day, a second bear shows up. Another rainbow bear, but a smaller version. The smaller version of the bear was put up on display with the bigger bear, and then from that day forward, they were always together. So fans decided to name the smaller one Sugar Baby Bear. So now you have Rainbow Bondage Bear, RBB, and Sugar Baby Bear, SBB. They were both dressed up in, like, bondage gear with electrical tape, but then continued to be dressed up with other things over the bondage gear. They would have, like, sunglasses and hats and leather jackets, just all this crazy elaborate stuff. But then as time went on, the bears started dressing and being put on display more and more elaborately. Like, they started being put on display with big, like, couch chair things. They would be put on display with, like, things in their hands, like tiaras on their head. They would have, like, wooden chairs and disco balls, like, just completely decked out. So people were really confused as to why someone on One Direction's team, supposedly, was spending all their money on these two rainbow bears with no explanation. There was never any explanation as to why they were there. Because the boys never acknowledged them, never tweeted about them, they never served any real purpose other than sitting on display at On the Road Again concerts. So the fandom was kind of like, why is someone spending all this money to completely deck out these bears if they're just gonna sit there unnoticed? The first time anything even remotely cryptic happened with the bears is when the big one, RBB, was put on display reading a book by K.D. Lang called All You Get Is Me. This is the description for the book. All You Get Is Me uncovers Katie's deepest emotions, from commitment to animal rights that threatened to ruin her career, and to her coming to terms with the sexuality that made her an unwitting poster girl for the lesbian and gay community. So, another gay icon reference, basically. Now we have Judy Garland, Freddie Mercury, and K.D. Lang. Regardless of the multiple references to these gay icons, nobody really started to draw parallels between Larry and the bears until one day when the big one was put on display with an ice cream cone, and the little one was put on display with the McDonald's cup just one day after Harry was papped getting ice cream and Louis was papped at McDonald's. Like, yeah, that actually happened. That's when fans kind of started to actually wake up and realize, wait a minute, are these bears supposed to represent Harry and Louis? There's a bigger one, there's a little one. They both have blue and green stickers, which I hate to say that because I know blue and greening is so cringy and I hate using those colors when I'm talking about them. Okay. I know. But I'm just recounting what happened in this time. People noticed that they had those stickers, okay? That's all I'm saying. But then also the big one had ice cream right after Harry got papped with ice cream, and the little one had McDonald's right after Louis was papped getting McDonald's. That drew so much attention to these bears and kind of really made people wake up and start actually paying attention to what they were doing and what they were being put on display with. The bears continued to be put on display with things that were tokens of gay icons. And the bears also kept drawing a lot of references to Judy Garland. She seemed to be like the one that kept coming. Judy Garland and Freddie Mercury are the two main ones. So I mean, I feel like with just the information that you have so far, you can pretty much understand why this whole thing was such a bizarre, weird thing that gained so much attention and is still talked about widely in this fandom to this day, because it's just so weird. Like, even if the Rainbow Bears truly have nothing to do with Larry, like, even if they don't, still, even the bears in themselves are very odd. The fact that a fan threw it on stage and they decided to keep it and started dressing it up so elaborately, being put on display with all these books with these messages that pertain to people's lives, but yet nobody in One Direction is acknowledging their existence at all. One of the biggest moments for the Rainbow Bears, though, comes a little bit later in this timeline when they were put on display with a framed picture of a man named Larry Grayson.
Oh my god.
His name is literally Larry. Like, his first name is Larry. And the picture of him was autographed by him, and it just said, love, comma, Larry. Not Larry Grayson, just his first name. Love, Larry. And the picture was framed and put on display in front of the Bears at one of their shows. And then 15 minutes before the show began, someone came and removed the picture. Like, someone on their team. So if the McDonald's fries and ice cream thing wasn't enough to convince the fandom that Larry was doing something, this definitely was. There was already a lot of buzz going around that they were doing something with the Bears related to them. And then they decided to put an autographed picture of a man named Larry in front of the Bears, signed to Love, Larry. I mean, that's just one of those things. It's like, what did you expect people to think when you did that?
I mean, yeah, it's obvious.
A little bit after this, the bear was put on display reading a book again, but this time, for the first time, they weren't put on display reading a book about someone who's gay. I'm not going to read the description of the book because it's quite long, but I will read the summarized version. Basically, it's a book about being in a band, feeling incredible amounts of media pressure, and suffering from an eating disorder.
Whoa.
Then comes October 10th, 2015, when a new Twitter account was opened for the bear. Remember, there was a Twitter account before during the Where We Are tour at BondageBear1D when it was just the one rainbow bear doing really stupid stuff, and then it got suspended after talking about Judy Garland a bunch. And then months and months and months pass, and then all of a sudden, October 10th, here comes a new Twitter account for both of the bears, and this is the one that most people know about, at RBBSBB Official. It's verified that this account was actually the bear account and not just some fan-made account when it made its first post, and it was a picture of the rainbow bear in front of a brick wall dressed up like it usually is. So that's what basically confirmed, like, yes, this is the bear account. No, it's not a fan-run thing. Basically, in summary, I don't want to make this section extremely long, but basically in summary, for the next few weeks or so, the bears continue to be put on display with all the things that I was talking about before, like books published by drag queens and gay icons and all these elaborate weird costumes. It was also the day that the bear account, RBBSBB Official, posted a picture of two drag queens holding the rainbow bear. One of the drag queens that was in the picture reposted a link to an article that was speculating on Harry and Louis taking the bear to a drag show. Because at this point, the whole fandom is convinced that Harry and Louis are controlling these rainbow bears for obvious reasons. So there was an article that was released speculating that Harry and Louis took the bear to a drag show. And one of the queens in the picture with the bear reposted the article and captioned it like, "Oh, I'm screaming." And then someone commented on it and said, "Is it true?" And they said yes. Then we get into this really weird series of events that a lot of people always talk about. Basically, on October 20th, 2015, the rainbow bears randomly stopped showing up at shows after being put on display at almost all of them. They stopped appearing at the shows and were just not there anymore. And on the 20th, they started a countdown. The countdown started with the number 5, and it was basically just like a handprint with the 5. And nobody really knew that it was a countdown until the days started progressing and they only posted numbers. But in the middle of this countdown, 2 days after it started on October 22nd, One Direction canceled a concert for the first and only time ever. A lot of people thought it was really weird that the Bears started a countdown, and then all of a sudden One Direction canceled a concert claiming that Liam was sick, even though the boys had performed sick many times before. There's even instances where Harry was sick and he kept leaving the stage to go and like vomit. Yeah, but they canceled a concert because Liam was sick. It was just very weird. I don't know. The other thing about that, though, is they canceled the concert 30 minutes before they were supposed to go on stage. It's not like they canceled it days before or, like, hours before. No, like, there was a whole arena full of people sitting there waiting for them. And they canceled it half an hour before it was supposed to start. Also, later that night, into the early morning hours, like 2 a.m.-ish, Louis was tweeting home lyrics. He tweeted, "I'll make this feel like home," and he tweeted the home emoji the same night that the song Home got leaked. So all at the same time, the Bears started this countdown. Home got leaked. Louis was tweeting about Home. The perfect music video dropped out of nowhere, and One Direction canceled a concert 30 minutes before it was supposed to start because Liam was sick. Very strange series of events. A lot of people think that they're connected. I'm not going to get into people thinking that Louis leaked Home or anything like that because that's Larry analysis. That's a whole other tangent that I don't want to go on right now. I'm just talking about the Bear timeline, so I'm going to stick to the Bear timeline. Okay. But basically on the last day of the Bear countdown, they posted a picture that said Bears coming out of hibernation, and then they appeared back on stage finally after days of being absent. So the countdown all along was just a countdown to when they would be back. But it was very odd that they went away for a little bit of time, especially on the day that they canceled a concert. I don't know. Then the bear account posted another picture, and this time it was of Harry's childhood friend at a gay bar holding the rainbow bear, which is just so bizarre to me. The fact that Harry's childhood friend had it and posed in front of a wall with it at a gay bar in Newcastle. The same day, though, Louis was taking pictures with fans across the street from the same gay bar in the exact same area. I don't know. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. This is just what happened. It's so bizarre. I just don't know. Then on the night of the last show, the Bears tweeted a goodbye message that says, and I quote, "Keep in touch. Back very soon. Much love and affection. Stay safe. Thanks to you all, RBB and SBB," and then a bunch of X's, like XXX. After tour ended, the Bears continued to be active. They were taking pictures in very random locations and posting them on Twitter. They also kept changing their Twitter location based on where the boys were. On November 15th, there was a fan who tweeted the RBBSBB official account and just said the words, "Larry, okay?" And the Bear account liked it. This was the only tweet that the RBBSBB account ever liked, ever. Like, from the moment the account was created to the moment it was deactivated, they only ever liked one tweet, and the tweet said, "Larry, okay?" But yeah, to keep this section a little bit short, the Bears were just posting random pictures in different locations on Twitter. They were posing with pride flags and like drinking alcohol and stuff like that, just harmless stuff. A lot of people picked up on the fact that you can see the reflection in its glasses. So then from that moment forward, the Bears started blurring out their sunglasses in their pictures so that you couldn't see who was taking them anymore. On December 8th, Harry flew back to London from LA and the Bear account changed their location to home. And then Louis flew to London from LA and tweeted the home emoji when he landed. The Bear accounts also posted for Louis' birthday, and the Bear accounts also posted for Harry's birthday, but the Bear account never posted for any of the other boys' birthdays. A little bit over a week after Harry's birthday, on February 12th, the Bear account deactivated and hasn't been reactivated since, though the odd thing is that the username is still unavailable. Usually after a certain period of time when someone deactivates, the account gets wiped out completely and you can take their @ but the Bear account has been deactivated since 2015 and it's still unavailable. So basically, that's the RBB SBB phenomenon. I know I keep using that word. Kind of summarized, because there's a lot of other things that kind of happened that I didn't mention. Lots of other little nitpicky details like song lyrics and other books they were put on display with, and other little events that happened after tour was over. If you want the full rundown on RBB SBB with all the little details, I can direct you to some posts and YouTube videos that go in depth about it in the description. I'll have them linked if you want to look at it. For the most part, I think the whole thing is just so crazy. Yeah. From beginning to finish, the whole thing was so crazy. There's some people out there who think that the rainbow bear thing was simply just a fun thing because it was a rainbow bear. Like I said, it was just doing all these like gay related things, like going to drag shows and holding up pride flags and dressing like Freddie Mercury and reading books of gay icons. People just pass it off as like a joke, like a gay bondage bear. Ha ha ha, funny. But other people kind of think it goes way more in depth than that. I mean, there was a lot of really weird things that happened with it, like the McDonald's fries and ice cream thing. It was so bizarre that Harry and Louis were doing those things the night before, and then the Bears were put on display with them the next day. The whole Love Larry thing. Reading books about like being in a band and feeling the pressure of a band and like being in secret relationships, just all that stuff. The Bears only updating their location based off of where Harry and Louis are. The Bears only tweeting for Harry and Louis' birthdays. Also, the whole Harry's childhood friend taking a picture with the bear in the gay bar that's across the street from where Louis was meeting fans is very weird too. There's just lots of little details that make me scratch my head, and like this whole thing is just so insane. Probably one of the most insane things that have ever happened to this fandom. The Bears were also put on display at a Little Mix concert a little bit after they disappeared off of Twitter. And Louis, coincidentally, was the only member of One Direction who was in the same area as the Little Mix show at the time. So it's just like things like that that make me wonder. I don't know, believe what you will about the Rainbow Bears. That's what happened with them. That's the conspiracy theory for you for this video. Apologize that this video is so long, but also there's so many more like little conspiracy theories about the One Direction fandom I could talk about. Once again, if you want me to do a part 2, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to check the description for my main channel, my social medias. Follow me on all of those. My P.O. box is always linked down there as well. Okay. If you want to send me something, you don't have to. I hope you're all staying safe, staying aware, and doing good. And I will see you in my next video.
So what's my opinion on this video is that this is completely crazy. I mean, the same opinion as Jasmine's, like, what? Bears? Seriously? This is one of the weirdest things I've ever heard in my life. What can I say about this? If Larry is real, just imagine. They go to stage, they're like in love, all the stuff, and they look at these bears. What do they feel? I don't know. I would feel something cringe, like, just stop it. This is really weird. And especially dressed in these rainbow bears, Freddie Mercury or someone else reading all these books. It's somebody literally just thought about this. And yeah, I know some stories about being in a band and being gay, for example. And yeah, I know it's possible, like, yeah. But I always say that maybe we'll never know about Larry. Anyway, what can I say? I really like this video. I really like Jasmine. She's really kind. I already feel this, you know. I like that in the beginning of the video she was wearing treat people with kindness, and then it was Louis Tomlinson. I really like her hairstyle. I don't know what I'm talking about right now. Anyway, I wanted to say thanks for watching and subscribe to this channel. This is Hey Angel channel. I think now that I know a lot of information about Larry, about all the stuff, this is one of my favorite One Direction channel. Yeah. Make sure to subscribe to my channel to get more content every day. Tomorrow's a new video. Like this video to let me know what you like, what you want to see, or maybe you don't want to see this stuff on my channel. Leave a comment below. What do you think about all this whole conspiracy about Rainbow Bear? I hope that you're all safe and healthy. Don't forget to smile and treat people with kindness, guys. That's all for today. See you next video. Love you.